What's up, everyone? Welcome back to 7 Days to Die on the PlayStation 5, the console edition. This is episode 13, and yeah, last episode we had a pretty good adventure. Lots of success in getting the workbench finally. And man, it's just the workbench. You can make additional stuff in it. You can combine items. Anything you craft in here, it just puts it into the output instead of your inventory. So you can kind of craft two things simultaneously if you wanted to. I did organize stuff finally. I also kind of condensed down some of my gun parts, just combined them all with the workbench, food, medical type stuff, farming stuff, and then just, I guess, general resources, stuff like that. So I sorted my inventory. I made some new tools because the ones I had from the last episode were kind of used up. And I finally got concrete mixing unlocked. I went out and mined a few more of them small boulders, and that's kind of what I have melting down in here in the forge right now. Need lots of stone so we can make cement, and then I can use a cement mixer to make the actual concrete mix, and then I can combine that with the rebar frames, or I can actually make, I forgot where they're at. I can actually just make straight up concrete blocks themselves. So yeah, all the different concrete shapes, they're like a low unreinforced concrete block, but then you can actually use extra concrete mix on these blocks and upgrade them into the reinforced instead of using the rebar frame to directly go to reinforced concrete. So I'm gonna let all the raw iron and stone melt down so I can actually make the frames and concrete mix, and that can do its thing while we are out. So I think the main thing I'm gonna worry about in this episode is probably finding a good place to build my permanent base, horde base, whatever it's going to be. Not necessarily going to be able to start on it, but we'll figure out a good place to build it because this half burned up cabin is only going to last so long. Yeah, the zombies will work it over pretty good. Now, I don't really have the map opened up hugely yet. Like, there's a lot of places you can explore, build at. Actually, that place right there, last episode, was where we got the workbench from. It's a passing gas station. So I know there is a town about here on the map where the like pointer thing is at. Obviously, there's a town here with a treasure that we'll probably never find. I know there's another one kind of towards the northwest corner of the map. It's like right in here somewhere. The towns in the NAS game map are not so useful. I mean, they are, but they're not. They have their own unique POI places in them, but you really don't need to build in or too close to a town. I think, though, I want to build in a semi-open or level area, but I don't want to do it near or in a town because then I have to basically demolish buildings just to build in. Trying to think of where I want to build at. Let's go. Also, I know there is a farm kind of right here in this area of the map. I know it's fully level. People like to build there. I've seen bases built there before. I don't want to build in a place that everybody builds. And I'm sorry I'm staring at the map. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything that kind of sparks an idea for a good place to build. And also, like, more or less the entire southwest part of the map is just the wasteland biome, which good resources there, lots of zombies to kill, but it's also a pain in the butt to build in. Because there's landmines and there's dogs everywhere, and they are probably the two worst things in this game. I'm kind of wanting to build it right here, maybe? For the simple fact of this looks level. There's a road right there, and I'm kind of on the border of like 3 biomes. Which I don't know if that's good or bad. Never ever actually built a base in a place like that, so I don't know if it makes a difference or not. There's my waypoint indicator. So yeah, I don't. We can work on the base maybe this episode, but I doubt I'll be able to get much accomplished before the second blood moon on the night of day 14. Obviously, I need a lot of resources to build with too, and I don't have them quite yet. I know I had a few thousand stone melting down in the forge, but that is not going to make as much concrete as you'd really think it would. I mean, in this game, at least in this version of it, it takes at least 10 units, or they look like buckets, so you say 10 buckets of concrete mix to upgrade or just make 1 block of, like, just concrete, whatever. It doesn't matter the shape, size. 1 block of concrete is 10 concrete mix. So that being said, it takes 2 stone of the small stone to make 10 concrete mix or cement, and then you got to mix be 20 stone and 10 crushed sand to actually make the concrete mix. So yeah, you're about 50 stone per 10 concrete mix. It's about what it takes. So yeah, you got 5,000 stone. Well, you may have 500 concrete mix, and you may have about 50 concrete blocks. Granted, you can use rebar frames to go straight to a reinforced concrete block, so you kind of use half the amount of concrete to get there. But still, 50 blocks in this game is still not that much. If you've ever played Minecraft, you would understand that 50 blocks for building is not very great. It's good, but it's not enough to build anything crazy. And with this base, it's probably going to be the permanent base, but I'm not sure how exactly I want to build it. I've built several different kinds of like permanent survival bases and horde bases, whatever you call them. And they've been one and the same, and I've had ones that are separate, one where I actually store my stuff and have my respawn point and everything, my workbenches. And then another one that's separate for, like, actually fighting zombies for the Blood Moon or the mini hordes. And occasionally summoning screamer zombies to just call in zombies to kill, more or less. But I have an idea of something I want to try. If I can actually build it. Probably. I have the idea of what I want to build in my head. I just don't know if I can translate it 1-for-1 to the game. And if I do, it might take a lot of resources. As in, like, more than 50 blocks of concrete. Can I hit him from here? Probably not. I hit way short. Well, he's going after him. Oh, what the heck. Come here, bud. Come here, zombie. You really don't recommend using the hammer on zombies, but I don't have a melee weapon, and I don't have very many arrows. And also, during the night, while I was out trying to mine the boulders to get my mining tools up so I can put concrete, I had a pack of dogs come rolling through in the middle of the night and tried to kill me. So I wasted some bullets trying to get rid of all of them. I have more at the base. I just don't have the ability really to craft a lot of bullets right now. So I'd rather not use any more than I absolutely have to. And actually, I think where this base is at, I'm not super far from this trader over here. And I'm actually going to be kind of centered in the map. I don't remember exactly where dead center of the map is. It's somewhere in this area. Might be more past, like, that mountain range there. I mean, I don't have to build center of the map. It's just kind of nice to be centrally located on the NAS game map. Just so you're not running super far lengths to go someplace to get resources or kill zombies or do whatever you're doing. But as long as this location over here is mostly level and there's no, like, crazy jacked up terrain anomalies going on, it'll be a good candidate for a base, I would say. Doesn't look terrible, but I do have one little concern, possibly. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's boulders freaking everywhere, and they're not the ones I like. Alright. It's level looking, but is it what I want to build at? The reason I kind of want a level area also is not just so it's easier to build something on, but it kind of keeps the zombies from getting tripped up on the terrain and other things. If you build like smack dab in the middle of a town during a horde night, the zombies will kind of caught up on everything, and then they just start tearing through everything, and then it just looks ugly at that point. But if there's nothing around for them to get stuck on, well, you don't have to worry about it. And I don't think being close to the burnt forest is going to make a difference. The burnt zombies come out anyways. Doesn't matter where you're located. So it's not like I'm going to get an unusual amount of them showing up in my base. I mean, yeah, they might spawn over here, but it's not going to hurt nothing. That was a total miss. That should have took his face off, but I guess it hit his arm. Oh, look, more skill points. I had to go through and spend a bunch of them, too, on some perks. Because I needed some faster crafting, and I think I put some into the Miner 69er. Try to help out with getting my mining tools up a little quicker. So I do like this area, just it's going to take some time to chisel all these boulders down. Which is not bad, because that can be used to make concrete mix and all the other good things. So, I think I'm just going to start clearing trees, whatever. Just basically destroy this hammer and the pickaxe, clearing out stuff. And searching the bird nests as I find them. Yeah, so hopefully I don't bore you guys too much with just monotonous land clearing tasks, I guess. Should have actually brought my fire axe. Made clearing trees out a little bit easier. Surprisingly, though, the claw hammer works as good as the fire axe, at least the iron one. Don't know why that is. I mean, I understand it's a construction tool and it effectively functions as a do-all mining construction type tool, but pretty sure if you swing a claw hammer at a tree, you're not going to knock it down in about 10 good smacks. It's just not how that works. Especially some of these bigger trees like this one. I am going to get my construction tools up, so I can actually get steel smithing eventually. It is... Yeah, it's just construction tools to level 40 to get steel smithing. I can't remember. I have a world. Might be my multiplayer server, actually, that by the second blood moon, I had steel smithing unlocked and I was already making steel tools and such things. I mean, they're still kind of low quality because I didn't have my tool smithing and stuff up quite as high as I should have, but it is what it is, I suppose. Knock down some more trees. I think I'll probably just get rid of all of them in the general vicinity. And all the grass, too. I know the grass doesn't really affect zombies. You just walk right through them, too. But for the purposes of crawlers and just making it look nice, I have to get rid of all the grass, too. To a certain point, at least. I'm not going to, like, mow off all the grass in the entire map or something. That would take a little bit of time. Probably end up working on that for a minute if I tried that. Knock out these little shrub trees, or whatever they are. Actually, go ahead and make a bunch of arrows while I'm sitting here doing some other stuff. Good old multitasking in 7 days. I can build arrows and chop trees at the same time. That zombie over there in the corner of my screen is like moonwalking or something. She's oh. I forgot that church is here. Well, that could be a problem. Yeah, I guess not really. If I actually build it back far enough, maybe they won't spawn in it, near it. But then I have this dip in the ground here that concerns me a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. Because usually when they spawn for a blood moon, it's not really like that far away as the church building would be, which is already unrendered anyways. For the obvious reason of the zombies wouldn't render in, and it would probably just bug the game out so hard it wouldn't know what to do. So I think we kind of build the base more towards the burnt forest biome. But we'll still clear out a bunch of this stuff just to make it look better. And also so the zombies don't get hung up on it. If they don't get hung up on everything else on the way through. Let's see. We'll take this tree out too. Alright. Now, the design of the base I'm trying to, or thinking about building anyways, I don't know what it would be called, what other players call it, but kind of refer to it as a tabletop design. Because kind of what it reminds me of, it's like you build a giant table. You got like 4, how many ever supports you really want, but essentially where you stand or your base is kind of sits on a platform, but there's no support column directly underneath of it. So the zombies effectively don't have something to directly hit and destroy. So your base should stay floating. And depending on what you use to build that with, you can shoot down at the zombies beneath you, and there's just nothing they can do about it. Or, conversely, I don't even know what word I'm trying to use there, but if you have a horde of zombies come wandering through, they can effectively just wander right underneath you while you're in your base and not bother you a bit. And of course, you can put down like spikes and barbed wire and traps and whatever to kill them off as they come underneath, or you can just, let them do whatever they're going to do. I guess just watch them wander by, and I don't know. But that's just kind of what I call it. And can I get up on this rock, please, so I can start knocking it from the top down? That's just a design I'm thinking of building. It is not going to be a perfectly squared out, like, base. I don't know. I guess it'll be just kind of like a platform house type design. Like some of those houses at the beaches that are up on stilts, platforms raised up off the ground, so when the tide comes in during a storm, it doesn't wash out your foundation effectively. It's kind of what I'm trying to build a base out of, or similar design, but trying to make sure I don't put too many columns down or rely on them too much, so the zombies don't come along and just knock all the supports out from under my base and then comes crashing down on them with me inside of it, probably. Might do something similar to, like, I mean, it'll be still squared maybe, but either a plus shape up on platforms to build my base off of, or if I got really fancy, I could do an octagon. That'd be kind of cool, but I'm not sure how to do that. I'd have to plan that out a little more, which I guess I do have time to do that, because I'm definitely not going to have that built by the night of day 14. And honestly, it's almost the nighttime of day 12 now. Plus, I have to chisel a lot of these boulders out of the way, or at least this one, and probably that near one, and that little one, definitely. These 4 back here could probably stay for now, and so could that one further off, and then that one in the distance, and then, yeah, I don't know. I know the zombies do get hung up on these. I've literally seen them tunnel straight through them because they get so hung up on them, and they just have no pathing ability to figure out, hey, instead of bashing our way through this boulder, maybe we should just walk around it, and then we can eat brains. Yeah, that's just the beauty of this game. It's old, simple, and just weirdly unique, I guess, where the zombies are literally brain dead. Yeah, see, those little black, brown specks are the boulders I'm chiseling on. So yeah, most of the ones right here in like this kind of area is going to have to go. The church up here, which I think that's part of the fence of it, I'll leave it for now just because I don't think they'll spawn that far away. And if they do, I mean, they can just tear holes through the walls until they come get me eventually. I don't know. I don't see a reason to worry too much about it. Chisel away on this boulder a little more, and then I'm gonna return to the cabin base and probably start making some concrete and rebar frames, because it should have melted down enough resources by now to let me do that. Plus, I'm bringing back stuff from these boulders and the trees to also make more stuff with. And another little feature I'm going to add, if I'm going to make this the Horde base as well, it's going to sound like, not sure how to explain it. So the ground, the zombies usually don't tear up too badly on their own. It's only if it's like a really steep hill or the side of a boulder, essentially, is the only time the terrain gets tore up. Well, if I'm shooting from a platform straight down at them at like the tops of their heads and stuff, I miss them, I hit ground, bullets damage the ground. Sometimes, like the shotgun or the rocket launcher, they kind of mess the ground up pretty good, pretty quickly. But what I think I'm going to do is, under the part that I'm going to actually be using as the Horde base, might try to build, like, dig into the ground, make it level with the ground, but then use, I think I can use the, shoot, what are they called? Iron truss blocks? Trussing blocks? Might... Really? Again? This is what I was talking about, attacking me. Are they invincible? Hello, game? Pretty sure they should not have taken that many bullets. That was a little unnecessary. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by just random dogs coming from nowhere. Placing metal trussing blocks or something like that, where I can shoot through it, and it doesn't effectively destroy the platform that the zombies are going to be under my base on. So I can shoot at them all day long and not have to worry about digging holes under my base from all the shooting at the zombies. It might be easier to explain it once I'm able to actually build it and show it, like, in-game. I've actually used it before with one of my wood bases, because, you know, I noticed after a little bit, like, hey, you know, you could put concrete blocks or, you know, whatever underneath instead of just the terrain itself, but you eventually have to repair it or you start breaking them, and then the zombies start digging under your base, and if they do that, they kind of collapse the whole place. Alright, let me get back to the base before it gets too late in the day. Anyways, I kind of learned it from experience, and I started using the, like, blocks that you can shoot through, like the grates and the trussing blocks. There's a few others, too, like just frames. Regular old wood frames can actually be shot through. But now, if a cop zombie or something explodes, blocks like that get pretty much just wiped out immediately. The trussing blocks and stuff like that, the grates, they'll take some damage from stuff like that before they actually break or degrade into like a weaker state. So, and I probably won't do the whole base like that. There'll only be a certain part I actually can shoot down at them at for that purpose. I'll just have to see what happens when I build it and how it gets laid out and what I have the resources to actually do. And I've also figured out that you don't want to build a huge base in this game. Simply because, one, there's not enough stuff in the world to fill a base that's like twice the size of that cabin. Trust me, you can put a lot of stuff in a crate, like just a 1 block size crate, And you can stick a lot of those crates in there. Now, filling up all those crates takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and basically you're just destroying stuff to put in there. It's like, you have 4 crates here, and they're all full of dirt. Why? Why not? But the base I'll build, it probably won't be maybe more than 10 by 10 in area. So, and then it still also depends on how much resources I have and just how it works out, like what I decide to build. How do I feel like my character's stamina is just not regenerating whatsoever? Then my food and stuff's down, but that shouldn't make a difference. Not in this version anyways, and then when the newer versions for the PC and stuff, that I think if your food gets down to like 50% or whatever, you start regenerating stamina slower, or health recovers slower, or something like that. More realistic, I guess, but probably a little more annoying. I don't know if that's just me, but that arrow looked like it curved. That one looks like it just went right to her face. And that one curved. I'm not crazy, right? Like, these arrows look like they're shooting off to the left, like at a really weird angle compared to where I'm aiming. I just need to get the hunting knife schematic already unlocked so I can actually craft a decent melee weapon. Well, I guess actually I could make bone shivs and stuff, or just use blunt weapons, I suppose. I still prefer knives in this game just because they still do just as good as the clubs, and you can actually break the zombies down as you go. So if you need like extra animal fat or bones for glue or rotten flesh that can actually be turned into fertilizer, you can chop them up as you kill them. I'll say the rain and the fog combination is not very great. Should make a mining helmet if I have enough stuff. That way we don't have to suffer through the terrible version of night vision that's in this game. Hopefully it's not too dark and like foggy for you guys to see, but we're almost back to the cabin base. Alright. Oh wow. We got a lot of iron already. Let's see, how much of this can I make? That's a good start. Yeah, right there they was. Metal trussing block. I think that's what I've used before. Essentially, it's just the full block version of the metal grates, which are also really good for shooting through. Man, we don't need 780 of them. Do 250 for now. Get how many ever that gets me. Alright, well, I think I'm just going to put some of these random resources I've gathered away. Probably just chill through the night till the next day for episode 14. So, if you stuck around for the whole video, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Feel free to leave any comments, any tips or suggestions, stuff I could try, with the base when I build it. Yeah, so till next time, guys. I'll see you later.